Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. I wanted to start this out by giving a shout out to this guy. Apparently, I don't know if he just started his site, but this is an XRP community member, and I ran across this tweet. He started XRPmuse.com, and he is on Twitter, he's at Mark J. Scott. And he wrote a blog today that I went and looked through, and he makes a very good point in that blog, but I wanted to show you. He writes here in his Twitter, the tipping is the next era in web monetization, a revolution through micropayments. And so I went to his website, and he's got a really cool design, really cool name. And so everybody needs to get, it's xrpmuse.net is what his website is. But this is just yet another person who is adding things to this XRP community. And I'm sure you've seen all over Twitter. But the XRP community is the largest community in all of digital assets, and within 24 hours, this engine can turn the tables on anything that's being done in the world of digital assets that's not true and honest, and things that are being said that are not facts and not the truth. We can call people out. And that's a good thing as long as it's being done for good, and that's what we're here for. So when I see someone new to the party, I welcome them with open arms. This is xrpmuse.net, and his name is and he's written all of these blogs, Mark Scott. But the tipping is the one I was going to show you today. I guess he wrote this today, but I wanted to read you a couple of excerpts out of this. This guy's pretty sharp. I can tell just by the way he writes. And he's talking about the XRP tip bot and tipping in social media and Coil. And he's basically talking about how, those of us that have gone and started to use these things, you can really see the change that is coming. And so that's kind of what his blog's about. And he calls it the tipping. Okay, I'm reading his words. For me, the advent of the XRP ecosystem is a bit like having a Commodore 64 in 1983. Now, I've told somebody asked me which one I had, a Commodore 64. This is the Digital Asset Investor speaking now. Someone asked me if I had a Commodore 64. I believe at that time when computers first came out, you had an Apple IIe, I believe. Texas Instruments was one. I remember we had the Commodore 64. My brother had it, and I remember my brother surfing the internet with the internet. I think it was AOL that he was using, like in about 1986 or 7, and this was before the name of it was AOL. I believe they had something called something net back then, and you could get on. It was of course very limited as compared to what it became. But anyway, my brother had that Commodore 64. I remember playing on it in his room. And then we also had the Texas Instruments. It was called the TI something or other. But anyway, those were both very popular back in the day. So I'm going to start back here and read what he says. For me, the advent of the XRP ecosystem is a bit like having a Commodore 64 in 1983, sensing that it was just a first iteration. We knew that everything was changing. I get the same sense with the XRP ecosystem, as expressed by early movers like Coil and the XRP tip bot. The tipping is the next era in web monetization and a revolution in and through micropayments. And he says, Helen Keller captures the big idea. The world is moving along, not only the mighty shoves of its heroes, but also the aggregate of tiny pushes of each honest worker. And I think he's referring to the XRP community and all of us working together to push along a world-changing thing such as micropayments and XRP. And then he goes on, these tiny pushes, micropayments, will revolutionize the creation and consumption of content in our lovely, beautiful, and ever-expanding knowledge economy. The big idea underneath all of this is the growing reality of utility and its power to revolutionize the human capacity for creativity while meeting the human need for compensation. If you've not yet towed the waters, you should totally get started. Visit Coil and XRP TipBot. Once you experience the utility, you'll have a deeper appreciation for your future. And I thought that this was a well-written blog, and so go check it out, xrpmuse.net, and go follow him. He's at Mark J. Scott. Moving along, this is big what I'm about to show you. This was a tweet from Aerys X Digital. Okay, Aerys X is one of the 4 or 5 huge monster exchanges that is about to hit in the next few months. They are connected. They are Wall Street connected, and we have talked to them about adding XRP. I don't think they're going to do it to begin with, but it's just a matter of time. They do realize that XRP is the greatest digital asset ever created. They're in denial right now, I believe, but it's just a matter of time, as I've told you before. But it won't hurt you if you want to go to @AerysX_digital and give them another reminder about XRP and its status as the greatest digital asset ever created. But I want to give them credit today. They tweeted this, and it's from Bloomberg, who is one of the most anti-cryptocurrency financial news platforms in the world, as I've said many times. But this article, they actually got it right. It says there's a lot of longer-term demand for digital assets and helping clients understand the transformative impact of crypto and blockchain. And they link to an article on Bloomberg, and this is from a former Goldman Sachs electronic trading head. Now, this is interesting because, remember, if you work at Goldman Sachs is one of the most difficult places in the world to get a job, people. These people make millions a year. These people make millions a year. And I can't tell you how many Goldman Sachs employees have left to go into crypto. It is a lot. And this guy is the former global head of electronic trading at Goldman Sachs. And I'm going to read to you his quotes out of this article because he came in and he started his own, he's a co-founder of Tagomi Holdings. Okay. He's the chief technology officer and a co-founder. And this article features him and what his thoughts are on crypto. He's opening this in this year. This article's from today. And so here's a guy who's left multi-million-dollar a year in income, and he's decided it's a smart play to, as I told you yesterday, follow the money, people, follow the money. Well, if there's anybody who represents, quote, the money, it's a former Goldman Sachs employee. And this guy is a big Goldman Sachs employee, a former head of global electronic trading. So he knows a few things, and I'm sure he was making pretty darn good bank when he left. His name is Greg Tusar. And let me read these quotes. He says, "It feels like being at the early days of trading equities electronically," said Tusar, who serves as chief technology officer and co-founder of Tagomi Holdings. It's early stage. There's a lot of opportunity to build great businesses and have impact. The current environment is challenging for sure, but we think there's a lot of long-term demand for digital assets and helping clients understand the transformative impact of crypto and blockchain," he said. "We began building in March and began testing our platform a number of months ago," Tusar said. "We're launching now because we finished building the platform and want to go out and engage clients. The people we're engaging so far are still interested and engaged because they see what this technology can do over the long term. Digital assets are in the early innings," Tusar said. "In taking the long view, I really believe that this is a transformative technology, that we're still in the early stages." I can't tell you guys enough that listen to my channel. The reason that I feature these guys out of traditional finance anytime I can find them is because these are the people that are plugged in to what's going on in finance. And these people are going into crypto at record levels for a reason. And they're not turning and oh, we can't do it now, the market's down this year. No. They're going full throttle into it because they know that the best time to invest in things like this would be when the market's down. These people aren't stupid. They know exactly what they're doing. These are some of the smartest people in the entire world. The people that work at Goldman, these are Harvard graduates, Stanford, Yale, you name it. That's who this is. It's not a coincidence that those are the type of graduates that go to work at Goldman, and that those same schools are investing in, their institutions are investing in crypto this year. None of this is coincidental, people. Pay attention. You pay attention. Follow the money. Follow the money. Say it a third time. Follow the money. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button and tell your friends and family. Follow the money. Thanks for listening.